I put together a correction list, 17 names, tiered by conviction, mapped to entry zone, backed by valuations and analyst targets. Microsoft at 370, Meta 580, United Health at 270. These are excellent stocks, and if they correct to those levels, you are buying world-class businesses at historically compelling valuations. 35% upside on Microsoft, 44% on United Health, over 100% on Constellation Software. That's real money. But let's be honest with ourselves. These are retire wealth stocks. They are compounders. They build wealth slowly, the kind that the future will thank you for. However, they are not the type of stocks that will change your life, not at the current prices, not even at entry zones that I mapped out. Most of these names are known to the public. They are on every watch list, in every ETF. Oh my God, discussed on every podcast. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's precisely why they are so safe. But the trade-off is that the upside is capped. It's limited. You're not getting 10x on Microsoft. I'm sorry. So do not quit your day job yet. You are getting a solid 30 to 40% to target, and maybe a double over 5 years if everything goes right. So if you have a $10 million portfolio, yeah, that's very good, because these kinds of returns are wealth preservation and slow wealth creation. But that's not wealth transformation. These are the kind of names that make up the backbone of a portfolio, but they are not the ones that create generational wealth. Every self-made investor who went from modest capital to life-changing returns did it by finding asymmetry before the crowd, not by buying the same 17 names that everybody else is doing the same thing. Now, let me take you somewhere else, a place completely different. Let's talk about plastic waste. The world produces 400 million tons of plastic every single year. Only about 9% of it gets recycled, a number that has barely moved in decades. What happens to the rest? Landfilled, incinerated, and leaked into the environment. A WWF commissioned report pegged that societal cost of plastic produced in 2018 alone at $3.7 trillion, more than India's entire GDP. The Lancet estimated health-related costs from just 3 plastic chemicals at $1.5 trillion across 38 countries. UNEP models show shifting to a circular economy would save $1.27 trillion in direct costs and another $3.5 trillion in avoided externalities. This is not a niche problem. This is one of the largest unsolved economic and environmental challenges on the planet. And here's the catch. The reason the recycling rate is stuck at 9% is that the existing technologies cannot handle the most common plastic types. Polyethylene, polypropylene, and polystyrene. These make up over 70% of municipal waste streams. Mechanical recycling degrades quality with each cycle. Pyrolysis requires extreme temperatures and produces inconsistent output. Nobody has cracked the code on cost-effective, scalable chemical recycling for these materials. Nobody. A $1 trillion problem with no scalable solution is exactly the kind of setup where asymmetric returns are born. This is Aduro Clean Technologies. Ticker symbol ADUR, a Canadian company listed on the Nasdaq, trading at roughly $350 million market cap, and they may have developed the solution to that $1 trillion problem. Their core technology is called hydrochemolytic technology, a patented water-based chemical recycling platform. Now, what makes it different? Well, it operates at relatively low temperatures, uses water as the critical agent, and can process the three basic types of plastic that represent the vast majority of waste streams: PE, PP, and PS, including contaminated post-consumer waste that the other technologies choke on. They are not just in the lab. In January 2026, Aduro selected Camelot Industrial Park in the Netherlands, one of Europe's premier chemical clusters, for their first-of-a-kind industrial plant. Starting capacity roughly 10,000 tons per year, with room for phased expansion. This followed a rigorous multi-site selection campaign and sits them inside Europe's circular plastic value chain with access to shared utility, downstream partners, and a regulatory framework that's actively pushing for recycled content mandates. The company also has partnership with Krauss-Maffei for extrusion engineering and the Brightlands Camelot campus for applied research. They have a pilot plant that's been validated, and they just selected the site for the industrial scale-up. This is the de-risking phase. Now, here's where it gets very interesting and why I think this is the type of asymmetry that makes people very rich. ADUR trades at a $350 million market cap. The plastic recycling market alone is projected to exceed $100 billion by the mid-2030s. Chemical recycling, which is Aduro's space, is the fastest growing segment because it can handle what mechanical recycling cannot. And Aduro's technology claims to do it at lower temperatures, lower emissions, and with higher purity output than the alternatives. If, and this is a big if, execution continues and we start seeing hundreds of deployed units over the next 5 to 10 years, this is not going to be 40% upside to an analyst target. We are talking about 10x to 100x from the current levels. This is the kind of return that turns modest positions into life-changing outcomes. A $350 million company potentially solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem, that's asymmetry. That's how wealth is created, not preserved. Analyst coverage is still early. Aduro Capital has a $46 price target, so 300% upside from the current levels. H.C. Wainwright just initiated with a buy and a $22 price target. Lattimer Thalmann started at $19 per share. So the consensus average is around $29, which is roughly 150% upside from the current levels. And those are conservative institutional estimates, not the long-term thesis of what happens if this technology scales commercially. Now, I'm not here to sell you a dream without acknowledging the reality. This is not a get-rich overnight stock. Aduro is pre-profit, minimal revenues. They just reported 122,000 Canadian dollars in quarterly revenues with negative earnings per share of 15 cents. The company's beta is 3.46, meaning that it moves roughly 3.5 times the market on any given day. The 52-week range spans from 349 to 1766. That's serious volatility. The Bear Cave published a cautious report in January. H.C. Wainwright's own multi-year earnings per share forecast show negative earnings through 2030 as the company ramps capex and pushes towards commercialization. There is also the standard risks of any development stage clean tech company: technology risk, execution risk, dilution from capital raises, the possibility that compelling approaches gain traction, and the ever-present risk that what works in a pilot plant doesn't necessarily scale to industrial conditions. So you better size your position accordingly to the risk. This is not a stock you put half of your portfolio in. This is the type of position where you allocate what you can possibly lose entirely, and where the upside justifies the risk because of the sheer magnitude of the opportunity. What gives me conviction is that the de-risking phase is happening in real time. This isn't a white paper company. I mean, look at the progression. Technology development and pilot validation. Hydrochemolytic platform proven at pilot scale. Partnerships established with Brightlands Camelot campus. NASDAQ listing and capital raises. Over $20 million raised through underwritten offerings with institutional interest. Industrial engineering trials, collaboration with Krauss-Maffei on extrusion behavior for contaminated feedstocks. Folk site selected, Camelot Industrial Park in Netherlands. 10,000 tons per year initial capacity, room for phased expansion. Integration into Europe's circular plastics ecosystem. Analyst coverage expanding. H.C. Wainwright initiate buy at $22 per share. D. Burrell Capital reiterates buy at $46 per share, so the consensus average is $29 per share. Folk commissioning and first commercial output. If execution holds, this is where the market starts repricing the company. Each milestone that gets checked off is a de-risking event. And every de-risking event is a reason for the market to reassess the valuation. So you are betting on a process and not a prayer. Look, the watch list stocks are great. If Meta drops to 580, I'm buying. If Microsoft gets to 200-week moving average at 370, I'm backing up the truck. These are high conviction, sleep well at night compounders. But if you're looking at your portfolio and asking yourself, where is the position that could actually change my life? Well, the answer is almost never the mega caps. It is in finding a company that's solving a massive, validated problem at a market cap that doesn't reflect the scale of the opportunity. ADUR is that for me. A $350 million company with patented technology, a clear scale-up roadmap, expanding analyst coverage, institutional interest building, and a total addressable market measured in trillions of dollars. Yes, the volatility will be there. Yes, it's early. Yes, there are real risks. But if they do even half of what management believes, and we see hundreds of deployed units over the next 5 to 10 years, we could be looking at a 10x to 100x from the current levels. But again, this is not a get-rich-quick pitch. That's a life-changing opportunity that requires patience, conviction, and the willingness to ride the volatility that comes with a development stage company. The watch list gets you to retirement. Asymmetry like this gets you to freedom.